As many of you know, I healed myself from hair loss, chronic pain, digestive issues, and many other things, as well as manifesting great wonders in my life using very simple techniques. But there was one thing that really changed the game for me, and that was when I understood this. Healing became almost effortless. So I ask you today, watch this video if you want to learn how to heal yourself by just remembering one simple truth. And that one simple truth is this: you are not a slave to your genetics. There is literal scientific proof that genetics aren't rigid. You aren't born with something and then genetically predisposed to it. It can up-regulate, down-regulate. And there's two great teachers that taught me this. It was Bruce Lipton, Joe Dispenza, and there are many others who speak about it, but we're speaking about it today. So let's talk about genetics. How many of you out there have been like, okay, my dad's lost his hair, so I'm going to lose my hair. This has happened, so that's going to happen to me. You know, it's just there's been cancer running through my family's tree, you know, so I'm scared that I'm going to get it. Many of us live in this fear, but you are not predisposed to your genetics. And even if they start to fire, you can change them too. This is the beauty of it. Did you know that genetics actually respond to the environment? Now, it was Bruce Lipton who actually coined this, and I love his book. Now it's leaving me. It's right in the middle of me speaking. Bruce Lipton's book. It will come to me in a minute, and I'll bring it back to you. I'll write it in the comments down below. But when I read his book, I read it when I was about 23 or 4, and I was noticing I'm really fearful about losing my hair. Now, the interesting thing is Bruce Lipton has some hair loss issues. He doesn't care about it. At the time, it meant a lot to me. So it was a kind of, I had these two sides. I was like, well, if he can't do it, how can I? But I read the book, and I started to say about genetics. Epigenetics in instant. And epigenetics state this. It states that the environment signals the gene. Now, what does that mean? Well, let's put it this way. You have a cell, and you have a nucleus within the cell that holds the genetic material of you. So now, what he did was he realized that when he took the nucleus out, the cell membrane still did some of the work. It still was doing this. And he started to find these receptors in the cell membrane that used to take information from outside of the cell and feed it to the nucleus, which would then choose whether to upregulate or downregulate the genes. Why is that exciting? Well, that's exciting because it means that whatever your state of being is going to create the genetic expression. And when we talk about genetic expression, I'm not just talking about hereditary issues. I'm talking about the expression of the cell to create T cells and healing cells and white blood cells to work at a better rate. And all of this. And it all comes from finding this inner balance. But what the biggest part of understanding that about genetics, it made me remember that I am the master of my body. And we're told this in many great spiritual teachings. Joseph Murphy says it so beautifully. He says the body doesn't act unless acted upon. Think about it. Your arm doesn't move without your knowledge. Your leg doesn't suddenly start walking you somewhere without you commanding it. So what you do then as well is once you learn this, you start to command your cells to heal. You command it. You become the captain of the ship. And it gave me a sense of knowing. Now, the only thing there is it can make people start to push to try and change the environment. What I've decided to do, and I'm keeping it simple, rather than forcing gratitude and forcing all these emotions, I just started to make sure that my response to the environment was more pleasant, was less reactive, less scared. I lived in an environment of absolute fear. I lived in an environment of uncertainty, worry, fears, doubts, shame. I'm not good enough. I'm not enough. I'm not attractive enough. I'm not this enough. I mean, it was all so meaningless. Because let's think about it, guys. Me walking down the street right now, one person could look at me and say, that's the most handsome man I've ever seen. And then literally the next person along says, that's the ugliest person I've ever seen. When we start to worry so much about the outside world, what others think about us, how our family are, trying to protect everyone and control everything, that's when the environment starts to feel dangerous. That's when we start to call upon the genetic expression of danger. So those genes start to downregulate. They start to work towards protection rather than healing. So what I'm saying is you don't need to make the environment feel so good. You don't need to live at a high state emotion all the time to change the genetic expression. You need to create safety within the body. You create safety within the environment of your body, and your body will respond. Now, my favorite way of thinking about this is if you ever watch a gazelle get chased by a lion or a cheetah or whatever it is, okay? It will, in that moment, fly, dart, shoot. It fights for its life. It's a natural response. But after that chase is over and the lion gets tired and it walks off, it shakes. Oh, yeah. Okay, it shakes it all off and it goes back to drinking the water. And it goes back to homeostasis. The body lets go of the fear response. Now it hears the noise again. It looks. There's nothing there. May stay alert for a little bit. Boom. Most animals in the wild do this. Now you'll find some dogs will start to pick up the energy of their owners. So you might not see it in all dogs, but dogs do the same. Cats do the same. You know? So the point I'm trying to say to you is this, is your job is to, you have a negative response, let it go. Afterwards, work diligently to observe the emotion, the fear, breathe, relax, re-intend. I call it relax, release, re-intend. From there, you are going to create balance in the body. Now, here's the even better part. Once you understand that, you also access the subconscious mind, which is running all of those programs for you. It's deciding whether to upregulate or downregulate genetic expression. It's pumping your heart, digesting your food, healing everything. If you can start to access the subconscious mind, and you do it from the state akin to sleep or a peaceful thing, it's when there is no worries in you, when there is no fear. Your body is almost asleep, but the mind is still awake. Joe Dispenza calls this alpha state, okay? So beta is when we're here and we're talking, you're focusing on me. Alpha is when your mind has let go of the current reality. It feels absolutely safe. It's akin to sleep. It's a bit like, you know, Neville Goddard, Joseph Murphy. They're all saying the same things, guys. So simplify it for yourself. You get into a state of absolute relaxation. You can access the subconscious mind, which controls all things through you. It's the access point to the divine Christ consciousness within. Claim in there. Divine health and harmony flows through me. My cells work perfectly. And I used to wash my hair and I used to say, I love every hair on this beautiful head of mine. As I used to grab food, I used to say, this food is so good for me. My body loves it. It responds so well to this food. I would create a new identity within that space of peace. And from there, the healing came. Now, when I forced gratitude, I couldn't relax. When I forced emotion, I couldn't relax. But I remember, and the point of this video is understanding and remembering you are not a slave to your genetics. You actually have the capability to change them, and it's a scientific, proven thing. I'll see you at the next video, guys. Thank you so much.